Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we are returning to a Let's Play of Suzerain. Now, unfortunately, I did have some audio issues, so the voice of the antagonist is not going to join us last time. We did, in fact, record this episode already, but then I realized that the audio was not captured, so we're going to go through this again, and I'm going to bring you up to speed of what we are going to do here in our little Let's Play, where we're playing as the Western Reform, of course. So let's go to the Situation Room, to the emergency meeting. I believe last time we did have the assassination attempt at, well, not quite us, but at another person. So let's check out who we've got here. We've got Lucius, our trusted advisor. We've got Peter, our vice president. We've got Joseph over here, who seems to be defense minister. Yeah. And then we've got Nia, who is going to be who is currently our Minister of Justice. That's interesting. She was around with Alfonso? Yeah, she was around with Alfonso, and she does seem to have a reputation of being a very upstanding citizen. We've got also Lilias, who I personally despise, because she's just way too conservative, but I get that. So this guy over here, he was shot down. He's a poet, novelist, and like that. Yeah, he also is a famous communist, and she really, really dislikes that, which I guess I get, but And it seems like the young swords were responsible for that. Now, that is most certainly unacceptable, because we cannot go with political violence. It just would be devastating, yes, and indeed it might spark another civil war, which was around 30 years ago, so that's not necessarily great, obviously, but let's see. And this is kind of an issue too. Now, the Red Youth has condemned the killing, but it didn't stop there. They promised revenge. So we are now in a situation where the two youth organizations are pitted against each other, and that is certainly very, very concerning. That's interesting, yeah. She's been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry to deserve that name. Well, that's bad that she's the only one, but I guess I'm feeling good about having her on board. Now, yeah, I don't want to be promoting either of these parties, so we're gonna simply go with the freedom of speech here, and that I think is gonna be the best choice of action. Yeah, the police are trying to uphold their end of the deal, but it's not quite that they are up to that. On the other hand, we do have the gendarmerie, so the sort of military police, which Joseph here is keen about. Now, he is a solist, which is a little bit not ideal, but this is certainly political issues. So let's see what we've got over here. Yeah, justice is going to be served, and that all sounds very nice and so on, but I'm not too sure that that is truly something that we can promise to do. It seems like our police forces are a little bit stretched over here, so Now, we do think though that internal stability must be maintained, so let's go ahead with that, and we are going to increase our security funding, I guess, over time. It is also one of the promises that we made, so I think that is quite appropriate to, well, basically get a stability into our country. If we don't have stability, I mean, no economic boom will help us out of that. Stability is really one of the bases. It's sort of the first priority that you need to be physically safe, and only then can you think about any other aspect of that. Now, yeah, exactly. We will not be able to fix the recession if there isn't stability, so I think that is something that we need to keep in mind. So that's kind of a bad situation. We are seeing that there are some bad news over here. Let's continue and see what we are up to. So a few days later, a couple of days are passing since the assassination attempt itself, but yeah, let's look at the news that we are seeing from that. Interesting that one newspaper had some news on this assassination, but not so much all of the other ones. Right, so lots of news over here. Let's read them. We've got the communist leader doing a bomb attack. Not good. And that's not even something that we care about. Weapon seized in cultural center. By the Young Swords. So this is the right-wing party. Or youth organization of them. And we've got more weapons at the communist offices. Some KA-74s. So an obvious play on the AK-74 or 47. I don't know. Romberg, mate. Oh, so that's the monarchy to our north that is sort of threatening us. And they have been found where exactly? Has been... But where? Just in an abandoned house. Certainly not a good news, though. And Young Swords are being attacked again, so yeah, it's really all-out political violence here, while our police is obviously understaffed. That's a lovely combination, isn't it? And the police is not only understaffed, but also overburdened. Not good. Excuse me, small interruption there. So, yeah, the other issue here is that we are facing some foreign trade issues. That is probably going to escalate in the future, but for now, let's just keep at that. There's one more note down here somewhere. Oh, yeah, over here. From Velen. Smolok, that is the dictator of Velen, isn't he? And he's warning traitors. He's also asserting that there are some traitors who are coming to our country, which obviously might indicate further pressures down here with Velen. Although, I'm more concerned about Romberg, honestly, so let's see about that. What else are we doing here? So more reports over here. BFF. I think that's the Bludish Freedom Force. Yeah, so that is the militant and political organization of the Bludish people. The Bludish people are living in the region of Bergia, and they are an ethnic minority, which is also living in Velen, so that has some implications here. But again, not good. What are we going to do next? I think the security briefing is a little bit more interesting here. So let's see about that. We've got Lilias again and Nia, so that is going to be a good indication. And then we've got two more people. So, okay, it's a two-part meeting. Right, we've got Lucian, our chief strategist, as always, very punctual. That is, of course, okay. Let's begin, and let's see. Everyone is sitting down. He is doing some stuff. So, what is this ever? First topic, political atmosphere has worsened. Yeah, we would have guessed so. Reports from around the countryside indicate that tensions are rising. Yeah, we did sort of get that. On the other hand, what is the state of affairs here? Well, let's get enlightened. Investigation and testimonies, we have confirmed that the motive, and it's political. Let me guess. Yeah, it does seem to be political. It's a conflict between the Red Youth and the Young Swords. And I'm very much keen on not being drawn into that. So let's see whether we can do something about that. He has been speaking against the Young Swords, and that is a problem. Now, I'm not going to suggest that he had it coming. I'm not going to see... We could say that he lost a great writer, but I'm more concerned, honestly, about the political violence. So that is obviously not great. And Lilias is saying that the Red Youth, the communist organization, is being funded by, let's call this as the Soviet Union, United Kontana, the Federalist Socialist Republic. Now, I think we need to be quite sure about this situation. So we've found a cash trail. But the thing about a cash trail is, I mean, obviously they're going to be funded. The question is, are they going to be funded to conduct violence in particular? Are they instructed to use violence for that? I don't know that. Yeah, see? Lucian is stating something similar. It's not unusual to influence others, but... What is Nia's opinion? I'm very intrigued about that. Could be wrong to jump to conclusions. They have humanitarian cultural ties with many countries. Yeah, I don't trust them. I really don't trust them. But I don't want to jump to conclusions, so that is going to be our answer here. Well, they funded General Ricard. He doesn't have a picture. He was killed in action. But yeah, he's the one, I think, who is doing the uprising. And she's obviously siding with Colonel Sol. Which is fine, but... I don't want to be dragged into that. I don't want to go down that route, really. So, do we remain vigilant? Yeah, I think that is certainly what we're going to do. We do need to be careful about all of this, but I don't want to do that too much. Our highest internal threat comes from the 20,000 Brutish Freedom Force. That's a large force, led by Devlin. Let's call him Devlin Arch. So that seems to be a little bit like the Northern Ireland situation. I wonder, are they supported? Are they cooperating with any political organizations? Okay, they have suspected. Yeah, it does seem to be a little bit like Sinn Féin / IRA in Northern Ireland, but we don't really have direct connection there. We're also seeing that the Rumbergans, so the monarchy, is importing these weapons. Huh, that's interesting. So the game is set in sort of the 1950s. It's of course all fictional, but it seems like these were designed in 1874. So is this... It's an operated assault rifle. So in this universe, automatic weapons came in like 70 years. This is a 70-year-old weapon. Interesting. Interesting that in this universe, automatic rifles came in about 70 years earlier than they did historically, or 60 years maybe. Interesting though. Right, Romberg. Yeah, we do know about Romberg, and they are making some heavy noises there, but I'm not sure whether we can make the direct correlation yet. I don't want to come off too weak here, but I don't really want to irritate our larger neighbors just because we do see some smoke. I mean, we do need to be quite vigilant here, but is it going to be enough to start making them? I don't know. I really don't know. So, we haven't seen a direct link. Can we just arrest them? Well, I mean, they are playing with fire. I want them gone, but I'm not sure whether we will be able to do that. That is concerning. With our current capabilities, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia, the border region. Nargis, that I think is close to where the Rumbergians are, and Aknaland, so that's also close to Rumberg. Very, very, very... That's all very concerning. But we are definitely going to increase our funding for law enforcement, because I really don't think that this situation is going to resolve itself just by ignoring it. So a higher budget would be helpful. Corruption is the root of all evil, though. So we'll need to see whether we direct that funding more to the police force or to, let's say, the courts. I'm leaning towards the police force. As much as I like Nia, I think it is a little bit more appropriate to go for the police force given the situation right now. So let's see. Okay, let's move on. I think we're going to come to the second part of the meeting here. Yeah, we are. So we've got two people here. We've got Josef, our Minister of Defense, and then we've got Vulcan Kruger. And I think at some point Lucian did say that both of these guys were conservative. Potentially Josef being a little bit more leaning towards our direction of reform. Whereas the Vulcan Kruger here with his steely, piercing blue eyes, he's a little bit more open. He's a little bit more conservative. So that does mean that we should probably lean a little bit more towards Josef, but we certainly don't want to drive both of them away from us. So, yeah, I don't really begin, I guess. Right, let's see about them. He is in his 70s, really. He doesn't look like it. He looks a little bit like a walrus, but I don't know. Let's greet him formally. I do want to give him some respect here. Gathering. Yeah, northern and western border towards Rumberg is very tense. We are observing deployment of divisions close to our border. That's not a good indication. That doesn't sound good at all. Increasing expansionist in the past and inferred in Agnolia. Okay, they have interfered in Agnolia, but I think Agnolia for now is being ruled by someone who is not in their pocket at least. Now, what is our current strategy here? Patrolling. Okay, please, General. Picture is becoming clearer. Latest information from the interior caches. They are acting within our country and close to the border with our official military. So that sounds a little bit like things that Russia would be doing in the last couple of years. So, I think we do know that we have good generals. So let's go ahead there. We need to increase the military budget. And we do need allies. That is quite true. I think we need to say that we will see here, because I'm not entirely sure whether we will be able to fund the military and the police at the same time. So at least Yusuf is vaguely positive over here. I don't want to cut their funding, but I'm not sure whether we will be able to do that. I'm also leaning towards the west, so maybe a superpower would be coming in useful. See, both of these guys dislike it because they're a little bit more conservative, maybe even nationalistic, but I'm guessing that does make some sense, right? So, let's see. Rumbergian military. Raising military readiness. Do we want to be more ready? No, I don't want to show them the might of the Swordlish Armed Forces because I don't want to escalate the situation here. I think remaining calm is a good choice, but I want to be assertive too, because I don't want to see them smuggling forces or any weapon caches in. So let's get the middle ground here, but be a little bit more decisive. Flames of War, not good at all, and they have apparently closed something. So United Cantona, the Soviet embassy, right? Have closed the embassy. Not good. Not good at all. What's going on over here? Okay, BFF is banned. Nationwide revolt. Not good. And diplomatic pressure. From Romberg. Yeah, we know. Not good. Okay, what's the news here? 11 points of news. Yeah. Politician shot that, we know that. Rumors of an infrastructure project? Yes, that's true. Gang violence claims a young girl's life. Not good at all. And the radical newspaper, The Voice of the Unheard, is campaigning against a repeat of the Civil War. Well, you know what? If you're against that, it would be lovely. It would be really lovely if you couldn't flame, if the communists were sort of not going quite as aggressively against us as well. That would be lovely. And Acacia is developing the first ICBM. Oh, interesting. So that does indicate that the West in this iteration is a little bit ahead of the East in terms of missile development. I think historically, well, what was the first intercontinental ballistic missile? The Soviets were the first to space. I would guess that they would have had the first intercontinental ballistic missile. I think the US was relying on a bomber force for much longer. Interesting. I don't know. I'll need to look that up. Yeah, let's take dinner. And you know what? I'm gonna click through the interpersonal stuff here a little bit faster. So I guess Hacker? Why not? So, how is school? Let's ask. Boring. Okay. Are the Batman gone? Well, it was only one really, and he's gone now. I don't want to make too many promises here because I really don't know whether we are going to be shot at some point here in our career. And I don't want to, you know, bring her hopes up. I mean, she's too young to really understand, but it's going to be alright, I think. Hopefully it's going to be alright. You shouldn't have... I'm hungry. You know what? Let's ask her how her day was. I don't want to ignore her completely just because she's doing that. Oh, but she has been cooking for us, so that's nice. What is it? Vegetable and creamy sheep cheese. Sandwiched between thin layers of dough. Okay, yeah. I get it. That doesn't sound too bad. And drinking wine. Okay. Kiss on the cheek. Where's the KGB? What do you mean, where's the KGB? I don't know. Let's just kiss her on the cheek. Smile faded. Cheer everyone up. She lied. Yeah. Okay. So she's somewhat upset, but she's keeping the family together, so that is good. Okay. Let's go and eat. Okay, Frank, our teenage son, he's still up there. I don't want to just open the door. Let's just knock there. Shall we knock again? No, let's turn down that racket and open the door. He is coming. I don't want to be too strict here. It just seems to be, you know, I don't want to be the overly aggressive father here. Who's taking it out on his teenage son. He is having a difficult time. I think we can recognize that. It's not a good moment to be just like actively trying to derail the family though, so it would be lovely if you could keep it a little bit together. But yeah. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were president for 20 years? Yeah, I don't want another soul. I think inherently if you've leading a country, especially a young country, for that long, it just seems to indicate that there's something wrong with the political system, because it shouldn't be that long. Some countries do take that very well. I think Germany has been ruled for more than 16 years by Merkel now, but you know what, at some point you just need to move on, I think. Yeah, but you know, Frank, I really can't promise that. So all I can say is that we're actually still alive, which is not the best, I guess. Where are you going? Let's talk about it. I think let's talk about it. This is fine. So, I don't think we can say that. I think any of these combinations here is not really one that we can take. So I'm just going to say this. It's not up to you. Well, it was just one shoot, and we were really not the target, so I think it's going to be okay. But what if we were? Yeah, true. We do have to trust. But we can't shield him from the ugliness of the world. I like, you know, the writing is pretty nice, actually. Yeah, but I am worried, and things might escalate. We know that. Had I been lying? What's the threat? No, I've not been lying. I've very specifically not said that everything is over, but only that we're doing okay. Right, let's read the news. Protests across Sordland. Protest. Political chaos. NFP and LUS. An NGO. Okay, labor union. Yeah, I don't like when labor unions do get too involved in politics, but I do see the point that the political violence is not fine. Let's react to the unrest. So what are we going to do here to counter that? He has prepared several action plans. We could call for restraint on national television. Not a bad choice, but it seems like a little bit weak. We could visit the affected towns. Okay, that's a little bit better. We could label all protesters as traitors. Now, I'm on the fence here because I really think that if you're escalating things and if you're doing that violently, then you are actually a little bit of a traitor in regards to the political system. But it's completely valid to protest against a political murder. So I don't want to label them all as traitors. That seems to be a little bit too dictatorial for me. Maybe we're going to do that one day in another playthrough. We could expand the police by deploying all recruits in training. That's an interesting proposition, but not one that I necessarily like, because I think raw recruits without proper training could escalate things very quickly. That could mean that, you know, one of these protests could get out of hand, someone is going to do something stupid, maybe shoot, and that would really not go where I would want it to be. So even though I'm thinking that there's some risk that, you know, we might be heckled or something, I think we are going to visit the towns in person, and that is going to be the best choice here. Oh, here's a newspaper, so let's see. Visited the towns around Greater Hornsford, heavily affected. Yes, that's okay. Sends a powerful message that the government is walking among them. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's positive news. That was actually very lovely here. That seems to be a positive news circle here, so that is good. And with that being said, I think now is a very good place to put in a cut before we are going to go for the end of the day here. So thank you very much for watching. Do leave a like and everything, and I'm hoping that at least in two episodes down the road, the voice of the antagonist is going to rejoin us. So stay tuned until then, and I hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.